Welcome to Hum Tutor. This is your personal teacher Nepanipin. Let's go to the topic that we'll discuss today. In the 10th standard history chapter 1, the rise of nationalism in Europe, today we will be discussing about a subtopic of the main topic, that is a making of nationalism in Europe. The subtopic is the aristocracy and the new middle class. So before going to this topic, let's discuss some important dates. 1797, Napoleon invades Italy. Napoleonic War begins. So Napoleon was in the peak position of his journey of success. He invaded Italy and fought too many wars with other kingdoms and empires. So this year, 1797, saw the beginning of Napoleonic Wars. Then 1814 to 1815, fall of Napoleon, the Vienna peace settlement. So in 1814 to 1815, they saw the fall of Napoleon as he started to lose all his territories one by one because he fought too many unwanted wars. In 1815, he signed the Vienna Peace Settlement. That is, it is an agreement between some countries regarding peaceful and friendly relationships in the future. The next important date is 1821. Greek struggle for independence begins. So in 1821, the Greek was a country under different empire, especially the Ottoman Empire. In 1821, the Greek got the idea of nation state and they started movements and struggles for independence. The next important date is 1848. Revolutions in Europe, artisans, industrial workers, and peasants revolted against economic hardship. Middle class demands constitution and representative governments. Italian, German, Magyar, Poles, Czechs, etc. demand nation state. So in 1848, a lot of revolutions rose in different parts of Europe. The economic status of artisans, industrials, workers, peasants, etc. was so lower compared to the status of other classes. They got less wages, sometimes not even paid. The work atmosphere and hygiene was very pathetic. So these people showed their regret and revolted against economic hardship. Another important event happened in 1848 was the middle class people demanded for the law of their land, that is the constitution, and they wanted their representatives in the government. Then again, the Italians, Germans, Magyars, Poles, Czechs, etc. demanded for a nation state. The next important date, that is one of the most important topic, is unification of Italy in 1859. That is from 1859 to 1870. It was under several dynastic states, and finally, with the help of Chief Minister Cavour, Italy became a nation state. Then 1866 to 1871, unification of Germany. Another important topic, that is unification of Germany, which was shattered into a number of states and unified with the help of Ottoman Bismarck. So both these topics, that is unification of Italy and unification of Germany, these topics will be discussed on coming sessions, and it is one of the most important topics. And finally, in 1905, Slav nationalism gathers force in the Habsburg and Ottoman Empire. The Slavs, that is the ethnic group settled in different parts of the Habsburg and Ottoman Empire, gathered together with the idea or concept of nation state. So these are some of the important dates that we discussed now. So let's go to the main topic, that is the aristocracy and the middle class. The aristocracy, or the people, belong to the uppermost class of the society. In Europe, the most privileged people holding some titles and offices are the aristocrats. They are socially and economically dominant, that is, having power and influence in the society. The landed aristocracy is a category of nobility in various countries for which the ownership of land was a part of their noble privilege. So the landed aristocrats is shattered in different part of the or in different countries in Europe. Even if they were settled in different regions of Europe, they were united by some common way of life. The aristocrats owned big houses in the town area. Like we have already studied about Shattox in ninth standard history, chapter 1, that is French Revolution. And also these aristocrats owned estates in the countrysides. Officially and for official purposes, that is for diplomatic purposes, they used French language and also they spoke French while mingling with high class society people. In order to have a unity and oneness, their families were connected by intermarriages. However powerful they are, the aristocrats' population was only a small group. The majority of the population of Europe was peasants or farmers. In the Western Europe, the bulk of the land was farmed by tenants and small owners. So, who are tenants? A tenant is a person who occupies land or property rented from a landlord. Sometimes he will pay rent or work in the landlord's estate. In the Eastern and Central Europe, the aristocrats holds most of the land which was cultivated by the serfs, that is, the slaves. Then the middle class. In the Western and Central Europe, the growth of industrialization or industrial production and trade led to the growth of towns, and this resulted in the emergence of commercial classes. And their existence mostly depend upon the production for markets. The second half of 18th century saw the industrialization of England. What is industrialization? It is the process by which an economy is transformed from primary agriculture to one based on the manufacturing of goods. So machineries are used in bulk while transforming to industrialization. France and Germany industrialized only during 19th century. So as a branch of industrialization, a new class emerged known as the middle class, made up of industrialists, that is a person involved in the ownership and management of industry. Then businessmen, then professionals, that is like doctors, advocates, engineers, etc. In the Central and Eastern Europe, these groups were smaller in number till date, that is around 19th century. Finally, the idea of national unity, a nation state, emerged among the educated liberal middle class people. Liberal means broad minded or open hearted or thinkers of new ideas. So, finally, the middle class people liberated the idea of nation state and they popularized the abolition of aristocratic privileges. Now we have discussed about the aristocrats and the middle classes. So the next topic we will be discussing is the liberal nationalism in Europe. This is one of the most important topic. So let's see in the next video. Please watch, like, share and subscribe. Thank you.